In today's episode, Joshua asks, as a content marketer in the mortgage industry, I'm incredibly intrigued at the possibilities in account-based marketing. Can you tell me more? Account-based marketing or target account marketing is ideally suited for long, complex, high-value sales like mortgages, like real estate, things like that. And so this is clearly a case where this would apply being in the mortgage industry. Now, ABM is focused on essentially three core technologies, which is targeting only likely buyers with highly personalized advertising, very contextual, lots of personalization, in-depth data-driven marketing automation that gathers and scores leads and plugs into a CRM so that you can figure out who the actual high-value customer is, and then aggressive analytics and a data-driven focus that reduces the overall spend, because the idea of ABM is that you only want to show ads and marketing to people who are likely to buy, qualified to buy, and have an intent to buy. And so trying to advertise to everybody is a waste of time and money, because very few people are in the buying process. For example, I'm a homeowner, and I've been a homeowner in the same home for almost 2 decades, and really have no intention of buying at all. And so even though I might have demographic characteristics that would indicate that I'm a highly qualified buyer, the intent isn't there. So the analytics of ABM require a lot of heavy lifting on the front end in order to tell you, yes, this is exactly who is likely to buy. So ABM, because of the system costs in a lot of cases and because of the intensive data focus, has traditionally been used in B2B marketing. Of course, that's kind of an artificial distinction. It's really for complex sales. So someone buying a pack of gum doesn't need ABM, right? Someone who's selling gum doesn't need ABM. Someone who's selling a $250,000 SaaS appliance or a house or a college education, yeah, you need account-based marketing. Because it's going to take a while to nurture those prospects through and get them to actually buy something. For the mortgage industry, at least within the United States, I'm going to confine this to that specific limitation. Account-based marketing is a great fit for a few reasons. Mortgages are a complex sale. There's a lot of data involved. The data that's involved is regulated, but can be analyzed, and the ROI is worth it. Whereas something that might be a little bit lower in value, like car sales, not as good a fit, although still a decent fit. For the mortgage industry, you're going to need 5 things. First, you're going to need marketing automation software, and this is software that can assess and collect data on all of your existing successful qualified customers, and that data has to be passed down or blended with your CRM data so that you have a comprehensive look at every possible aspect of who your successful qualified customers are. One of the worst things you can do with ABM is to make assumptions about who the audience is and to sort of build a model, back of the envelope. You need to do the data collection and then do the data analysis to build that model. The second thing you'll need is predictive analytics and forecasting, because one of the things you want to do is forecast over time when you're going to need to spend the most and invest the most. That's going to be a part of the system, and a lot of account-based marketing systems do not do that. They will tell you who is likely to buy, but not necessarily when. And so predictive analytics is a key part of a good ABM system. The third step is you'll then build that model of who is the most successful customer and start targeting those prospective customers based on your model. Now, in B2C and in the mortgage industry, there's a good chance that the model is going to be behaviorally based. So, for example, you may find that people who just got married are going to be buying a home and therefore need a mortgage. People who are going to be new parents, a lot of those behaviors will drive your model. What will probably be less successful are things like at age, for example, because we know from a macroeconomic perspective that the age of home ownership is a moving target, thanks in part to the student loan industry. So you'll need to build that model and start targeting based on those life activities, because people will be triggering those activities at different times in their lives. The fourth step is to deploy remarketing and retargeting based on that model. This is where you will use sophisticated advertising systems, particularly two systems, one known as a data management platform, and the other is known as a demand-side platform, DMP and DSP. These will connect to all of the major advertising systems, pull in data that fits your model, and then push out ads to those audiences. Those are probably some of the more sophisticated systems to do that, but those are definitely one of the ways to build out that retargeting and remarketing. That will show ads to the right people. And finally, the fifth part, again, the part that a lot of people don't get right in ABM, is monitoring closely to see if the model outperforms your other efforts. There is always the chance that a model you build is going to perform either the same as or less well as your other marketing. And so having the ability to quantify and measure very, very closely how the model is performing is super important. What is going the way of the dodo and what is changing our ABM compared to years past is list-based retargeting. This is where you just buy a list of highly qualified people, upload that to the ad system of your choice, and roll it out. And the reason this is going the way of the dodo is because of privacy legislation. GDPR in earlier this year took that off the table at a national scale, and certainly any company that has any kind of international exposure is at risk. But now we're starting to see states like California, Massachusetts, New York, etc., the big markets, starting to roll out privacy legislation of their own, and they are variants on GDPR. So the ability to just buy a list of data from consumers who have not opted in to being targeted by or sharing your data is going to become illegal. And so it's best to plan for that now. And again, focus on those behaviors. Systems, for example, like Facebook, offer you the ability to target based on life activities without getting personally identifying information. It says, here's a segment of people who have just become new parents. Okay, that's a usable attribute that you can model on without grabbing PII that could put your company at risk. So just know that the old days of buying the list are rapidly declining. In terms of vendors, there are a ton of ABM vendors out there. There is Engagio, and there is DemandBase and LiftIgniter, and there are also all of the marketing automation systems like Marketo and Pardot and Eloqua, which is Oracle Marketing Cloud, Mautic, and so on and so forth. So you may want to look at the different vendors to see how many of these features that I just talked about they support. That would probably be the next best step. So, great question. Lots to unpack here. It's a tremendous technology. It's a lot of fun to work with, and you can get some really good results if you have a great model. Thanks for asking, Joshua. As always, please leave comments below and subscribe to the newsletter and the YouTube channel. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.